What is something you've heard someone say that actually left you speechless? Do you finger yourself random friend of a former roommate? 10 minutes after meeting me, I have a similar one. A longtime friend of mine introduced me to his girlfriend for the first time and the first thing that she says to me is, "So, when did you lose your virginity?" Let me guess. You probably think fossils are real. Don't you? What? Whoa. This happened to me too. 10th grade, age 15 or 16. A girl in my art class said, "I don't believe in dinosaurs." He was about to explain fossils. All of the evidence. Then realized, you can't fix stupid. Babe, you know how much I love you, so don't be mad, but I've been sleeping with your cousin for a while and we are in love, and I'm gonna need you to support me on this. Also, if her husband calls, tell him she is with you. Needless to say, the speechless portion didn't last too long. We were in a grocery store, starting to head down an aisle, when a man stopped us and said, "I'd recommend avoiding this aisle. My wife just cut a wicked fart." His cand left us speechless. Sure enough, even in the next aisle, we could smell it wafting in our direction. Ex-girlfriend to me, "I hope that someday you'll hate someone as much as I hate you." Apostrophe. Me. And just a heads up, we close at 5 PM today. Customer, no you don't. Me. Apostrophe. I own a board game store. It's relatively common to have a couple regulars hanging out with us and shooting the shit for a few minutes after we close. One night I had a customer come in after we closed shop. I told them we were closed and he responded, "That's alright. I'm just looking. I'm not going to buy anything." Methodica. If you're here after close and are buying something, I'll be happy to ring your ass out if you're quick and know what you want. But to keep me around because you want a ducking look at stuff for 20 minutes, duck you. Get out of my store and don't come back. I was talking to someone about something unimportant and I jokingly said to my friend, "What could you possibly hate about me?" Well, she goes on this long ass rant saying that I'm overdramatic, hypocritical, arrogant, and a political stereotype. I don't even know what she meant with half of the things she was saying. She said I was a hypocrite for not liking him. Looking at your phone at work is the same thing as showing up to work drunk or on drugas. Time thief. Time thief. She probably let herself get abused when she was younger. Honestly, I can't tell you how many times I have heard someone say that. It seriously pisses me off. It's one of the many reasons I'm no longer a counselor. This kind of thing began to wear me down. I'm not surprised. I overheard a work colleague say it to someone else. I walked out before I got myself sacked by retaliating. I literally hate the person I'm right now. Edit. Genuine, kind, caring person. Really left me speechless. Me was an accident and my dad did not want to have kids. I was not going to get an abortion, so we got divorced. Something like that. I was 10. She always told me that they got married too young and wanted different things out of life. Don't eavesdrop on your mom's conversations with her friends drinking wine. Explains why my dad blows me off most of his weekends, and when I'm there, I'm just kinda there, and he ignores me. Grow to do wonderful things in your life, and when your father shows up to share a piece of your success, ignore him. I did that. Best feeling ever. To be proud of yourself and your accomplishments, and then just ignore the people that pretend to have had contributed. You teach people how to treat you. Mind-blowing moment of realization that if I continued to say I suck and that no one should trust me with things, they will start to believe me and treat me as such. I keep telling something similar to this to people. You aren't getting any respect if you doesn't respect yourself, and people will treat you the way you let them. A friend and I were in a store buying mannequins for our thrifting business. The guy who owns the store pointed to a specific mannequin and said, "This one has great tits. Not like my sister-in-law's. She breastfed her baby, and one day she whipped them out to feed him, and they looked like fried eggs. Ruined forever." My wife is in her 70s and she has perky little tits because she didn't breastfeed our kids. Then he went on to tell us how his daughter breastfeeds and how great it is for babies. WTF. We had known this guy all of 30 seconds before he unloaded this breastfeeding sad on us. To be fair, you went to a store that wholesales mannequins. Just be grateful that your experience didn't end with you being his new models in the basement. You shouldn't microwave water, it takes the oxygen out. Apostrophe. HM. Cold water can retain more dissolved gases than hot. So on one level, she was technically correct. It doesn't split the molecule, though. And I can think of no way outside of an aquarium where having less dissolved oxygen is going to impact anything. Was at a small, shitty dinner that's gone now. Two older couples were at the next booth over, talking about how one couple was trying to sell their house. They were complaining that no one would want to buy it since a black family moved in next door. The other guy said it's simple. When you're walking in the yard with potential buyers and you see the neighbor, ask him how the flowers are coming along this year. They'll just assume he's a gardener. Apostrophe. We have a population of 330 million. If everyone just gave each other $1, we'd all be millionaires. Bimbo coworker I had. It hurts my brain to think about how that would work. A lot of her comments hurt a lot of our brains, haha. Okay, I've posted this a couple times before, but to this day I still have to just sit and think for a minute every time I remember this. It was 2014 or so in college, and I had a statistics class. We worked in groups and I always had this other girl at the table with me. Didn't have much of an impression of her because we didn't talk much, but randomly one day she asked me what I thought of legalizing weed. It took me back because I really hadn't talked to her much up until this point. Plus it's a loaded question, even if we were in college. All I said back was, well, I don't see much wrong with it, and tried to leave it at that. She comes back at me and says I definitely think it should be legal because the THC kills off brain cells. So if it's legal that means more people will smoke it and everyone will get more dumb. Then because I'll choose not to smoke it, everyone will become dumber than me and it'll mean I become more successful than everyone else. I literally could not respond. I don't think I ever talked to her again. Nor did I want to after that. I used to have a friend with whom I had a 3-hour-long discussion about physics-related questions which he asked me. The questions all revolved around gravity in some way. At first, I thought he was genuinely interested in this topic. After 5 hours, I suddenly found myself googling papers that discuss gravitational waves and stuff like that. Goes way over my head. So by then I got suspicious and asked him that if he wasn't willing to accept my answer, what would he think the answer is then? Flat Earth? I blocked his ass. Can't you just get over it already? It's not like it's your mom or dad. You need to learn how to quit making everything about you and realize that I have problems to an ex. Angry that I cancelled date night to go to the hospital while my grandpa was dying. Edit. Clarifying that ex and I are both dudes. Oh, you could have planned that better. Spoken to me by my manager after complaining I took a week off work due to a death in the family. I was so gobsmacked at the time I couldn't come up with a reply, but several coworkers gave him an earful on my behalf. Sorry boss. I tried to convince Uncle Larry to die next week, but unfortunately the Grim Reaper doesn't work on your ducking schedule. My ex-hubby was always right. No matter what. No matter the situation. This caused lots of problems for us and of course, he's now an ex. But I had told the family counselor this, and the counselor did not quite believe me. She suggested that I might be exaggerating just a little bit. That was in a private session. The next time we were in a couples session I asked my ex point blank, in the 15 years we have been together, do you think it might be possible that you were wrong about something? His response was, since I always use logic to reason out an answer, I highly doubt I have ever been wrong. It was validating seeing the counselor's eye pop out of her head, and then she spent the rest of our session trying to argue that nobody is 100% right 100% of the time. Yeah, my dear, feel my pain. Thank you. The marriage is over. Moving on. I once during what they call a mental health crisis called the non-emergency doctor's number at around 3 AM. After speaking to them for a little while, they said the doctor would call me back. 45 minutes later I got a call from the doctor. I explained that I was desperate and wasn't sure what I would do if I didn't get help, and that I was so afraid I couldn't make it to a hospital on my own. The new antidepressants I'd been put on were making me hallucinate, and so terrified I hadn't slept in a few days. The doctor replied, "If you can't get to the hospital, that's not our responsibility. You could call an ambulance, but you doing so would be a waste of resources. Even if you do plan on killing yourself, if you can't get immediate help," and hung up the phone. That doctor should have his license revoked. The whole point of being in mental health practice is to keep you alive, no matter what that looks like. Please know that you are worth saving. Good luck with your journey. Like this video and this good boy will be your mailman forever. We are Redditation, and we Redditate every day. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. Until then, check another video. Or don't. Either way, have a wonderful day, you magnificent people.